Hi, welcome you all to this series on learning about the new CHAMP methodology. Earlier, we used to qualify leads based on BANT. You might have heard about it. Budget, authority, need, timeline. Once you identify all these four, you would say that is a very qualified lead. But today things have changed and we're proposing a new CHAMP methodology, which is really the ideal way to identify which is the right lead to go after. We'll go in detail about the 4 steps of the CHAMP methodology. The first is identifying a challenge. Does the prospective client have a challenge, have a big problem, or have a need to change? First, uncover that. That is the most important part of your discovery session. That's the most important part of your lead generation process. Once you identify the challenge the client is facing, you can come up with various next level solutions. But if you don't even know what is the change the client is desiring, what is the big problem they're facing, what is the challenge they're having, you'll never be able to really take this lead to closure. So the first CH stands for identifying the challenge the customer is facing. The next A in CHAMP methodology stands for authority. Are you targeting a decision maker who is responsible for making the decision? Or are you targeting the entire maybe 3, 4, 5 decision makers who are responsible and have the authority to make the decision? This is a very important part of prospecting. This is a very important part of identifying the folks with authority to make the complete decision. When you're talking to a decision maker, you might want to ask, who else in your organization is responsible for making this decision? If they say, hey, I need to bring my boss, or I need to bring my VP or my CEO who's actually responsible for the decision, then you at least know who are all the people who are involved in the decision making. So you can try and stage it up from the discovery call to the next session where you would seek to bring them in onto the conversation. Or if it is via email, you can ask the same way, is there anyone else in your organization responsible for making this decision? And find who else are included and have all of them join a Zoom call or a Google Meetup where you have all the people with authority on the call. That helps you close the deal faster, that actually helps you close the deal bigger, that actually helps you really make it a worthwhile prospect to follow up with. In the CHAMP methodology, you heard how identifying a challenge and then understanding if the lead is really responsible for fixing this problem and identifying their pain point really helped you move to the next level, which is finding if the individual is also the party which is going to say yes or no. If there are multiple people who are responsible or having the authority, you would identify all of them. But now that you're done with the first 2 steps, the next one is money. The CHAMP, M represents money in the CHAMP frame set. What kind of budget, what kind of, I would call it estimated share of the revenue is the customer willing to share with you to enable a specific program? Once you uncover that, someone might be comfortable with, say, for an onboarding fee of $2,000 per client, while someone might say, hey, my budget is only $500 a client. Or someone might say, I'm willing to pay 10% of the revenue. So it all depends on each customer. But uncover that so as to maximize your revenue from each client, each prospect. The last leg of the CHAMP framework is prioritization. The P in CHAMP stands for prioritization. Prioritize the client's challenges. The client might have talked to you about a couple of his or her challenges. Where on the totem pole is this particular problem that you're addressing? Is that problem high on their priority list or is it not? Knowing that and then mapping the timeline. If it is not high on the priority list, you might want to start with something this quarter and then scale up when it becomes high on the priority list next quarter. But if it is really a must-have right now, you definitely want to push for a faster timeline. So you can be candid and ask, is this a must-have solution or is this a good-to-have solution? If the client says good to have solution, you can always propose a crawl, walk, run strategy where you start, then you scale up once you show results. But if it is a must-have need, you can immediately prioritize for a larger investment this quarter so that you can stage it up and show through results. Thank you all for going through this CHAMP framework. We're really betting big on sales champions evolving who practice this new framework versus the good old BANT budget, authority, need, timeline framework. This definitely, CHAMP has a real new age way of identifying challenges, keeping the focus on the customer, ensuring there is a change request made by the customer, and then ensuring folks with authority, ensuring money and budget for the project, and last but not the least, prioritize so that the customer can immediately move on your project. All the best, champions.